The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the podcast belong solely to the hosts and not the host's past, present, or future employers. Hello, everybody. This is Brian from Breaking Down Security. We're about to start part 2 of our discussion with J Carey. We begin by asking him questions about red team and how they're noisy and how this how attack simulation can help augment red team exercises. So we talk a lot about automation this time, and I think we end up talking a little bit more about the books and what to expect from those. So, oh yeah, one thing before we go. Gentleman hit me up on Twitter and said, "Hey, did you know your podcast was on Pandora?" I was super surprised. I told him I'd give him a shout out on the podcast because he told us and I had no clue. So if you're a fan of Pandora, we're on there. Go look under podcasts on the app. Go search for Breaking Down Security, BRAKEING, and you'll find us. We're on there. I'd like to thank Michael R. for telling us that. And in addition to Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play Store, and Apple Podcasts. So, and he also said you could leave potentially feedback on Pandora. So if you're happy that Pandora's got us on there, please leave some feedback so that we can get more visibility on Pandora. So I appreciate Michael for the shout out there. All right, on to the show. All the red teams I've ever met do a lot of manual testing for the most part. I mean, other than because Nmap is kind of noisy. If you're banging around on running some kind of SSH or enumerating web directories, a good environment, as Miss Berlin will tell you, because she has customers who use her MSSP, a good environment that's set up for detection will notice those things. How does attack simulation? You mentioned red teams would use this, but how do they control it, and how effective is automated testing actually when most red teams are designed to go kind of low and slow?
Yeah, I think that like anything that you can do manually, and this is shout out to my boy Johnny Long. Johnny Long told me this a long ago. I was doing a lot of cryptography and blue team stuff when I at Fort, and when I got working with John, I worked with Johnny at CT, and he actually brought me into the hacker realm. He kind of like knighted me on the hacker side, and so what I learned is anything you can do manually, you can do automated. And I'll give you an example. Like some red teamers will never want to do anything automated. I think that's to their loss. I think you should do stuff manually, but it's to your loss if you're not doing automation. When I was at the Fort, I actually administered NSA's worldwide network when I was there. I was one of the administrators. It was a small team. We managed all the routers at NSA, all the Cisco stuff, and all that stuff. So I had an awesome job. So what I would do is we would do migrations from one system to another. We had these things called power hubs. It was by 4 systems. 4 systems got bought by Marconi. And so we had like hundreds of VLANs that we had to migrate from the old system to the new system. And I had some people that I worked with that wanted to manually do all those migrations. And the only thing you had to do is take the text file. From my stuff, I took the text file, I parsed the data, and I created new configs to dump into the Cisco routers. So I could be done with my job in like 5 minutes. And I mean hundreds of switches and stuff, right? All kind of crap. I would have people that manually sat there and would type in CompT IP address, like spending their whole day doing that, bro. And like, what is more efficient? Me scripting this out, I might make some errors at the beginning, but long term, I'm going to get all this coverage, and I can fix the stuff I need to do manually.
And if you need to do it again in the future.
You know
You
what
already got
I'm saying?
it. Right.
Yeah, yeah. But I think some people, here's the sad truth though. Some people want to get paid for doing manual bullcrap that they don't have to do.
Mm,
Right?
yeah.
If I can, if I can write a script, bro, that takes care, that does your whole job for you, you shouldn't be doing it. You
Mm,
should- so automation and attack simulation is not going to replace the you need to be a pen tester. You know, Betcher does LogMD. LogMD does a lot of automated stuff. It's going to help you out big time. But you still need to know what you're doing. You still have to process the results. You still have to know that you still have to be technically competent to do your job.
mm.
And so, what I think sometimes is people will just wholesale, all right, screw that. We can't do this because we can't trust the results. Those are how the dinosaurs died, bro. That's why we're. That's why I got. That's why I got an SUV in the name, and I'm burning dinosaur juice right now.
Right.
Don't be a freaking dinosaur. Use automation. Up your game.
So this isn't some kind of constant scanning system like I don't know. The big vuln scanners out there have agent based like constant, scanning of the network, constantly looking for bad things. This isn't like that. There's a start and an end, right? You set up like, I don't know, what is it, a recipe or something, and then you run various indicators of compromise against the network to see if it's been detected. How does that work?
Yeah. So generally, it's generally you're right. So generally, like it seems like there's been consolidation. I've been doing this for about 6 years now. There's been a consolidation of people doing a lot of people following the matter attack framework, and doing things that are in there. There's also the atomic red team stuff that people are loving. So doing stuff that's in there, and so all these things are like stuff that you would do manually,
Mm-hmm.
but people are scripting it and automating it. And so whatever recipe, playbooks, whatever you want to call it, you're putting them in, you put them together, and you're testing out that security model, and your security model should derive again from your threat model. People, I hate it when people buy stuff just to buy stuff from a. I started my company 6 years ago because I didn't want people to buy no more products. I was like, y'all buying too much stuff. Why are you buying this? Like you got product X, Y, and Z, and product X does exactly what product Z does, and then you bought this new product, it does the same thing as that. So I started to see people talk about vendor sprawl is like new, bro. Like 10 years ago, we had vendor sprawl,
Right.
and like we were buying stupid stuff. I remember when I was at Rapid 7, everybody started doing like mobile stuff, like oh god dang, people gonna hack your mobile thing, like it's gonna be widespread malware. All right, is that in your threat model? Seriously? Like what's going to happen if somebody do get your cell phone? What they going to do then?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's why we have threat model. That's why you don't buy stuff if you don't have to buy it. Don't use attack simulations to validate your spend. You should use attack simulation before you spend. You feel me?
Yep.
Right.
And the attack
you
matrix also helps, because if you see that two vendors overlap too much, you know that you're going to have to make a decision at some point, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. This is the overlap and it seems like all the vendors are kind of overlapping as well, because everybody's trying to do what everybody's doing. People are finding people. Heck, I got acquired, right? So
Yeah.
here's the deal. Like my mindset has always been, you're buying too much stuff. And what's awesome about I joined ReliaQuest. ReliaQuest has the same exact philosophy I have. People are buying too much stuff. People don't know if it's working, and so that's why I'm happy to be with the company that I'm with. And this is what I truly believe. I'm such a jerk. I'm a vendor, and I'm telling you, y'all buying too much stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah.
There is truth to that. I know. I mean, we get approached by companies who make their own. They want to call it like a malware suite to see if we can detect it. And it's mainly to help their customers too. Like how do we approach them? What should their tools be detecting? What can be detected? Right? Are we doing stuff that's just not detectable? And they're surprised at the reports that we offer them. Like, hey, you did some nasty power. Well, wait a minute, you caught that PowerShell? Seriously? And it's good that we are able to help not only the attackers but the people that are hiring the attackers to get more bang for their buck, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I like about what LogMD does, and it is like it's it's a back to the basics tool to me. Like these are the things that we talked about 10 years ago of being able to do really well. Understanding what's going on in your registry, understanding these changes. Uh, I kind of talk to people and say it's kind of almost like tripwire in some cases, where you're going to be detecting all these things from a forensics basis. And these things are not new, but they've been kind of inaccessible. The stuff that y'all do with LogMD, and it sounds like a LogMD commercial, is like we were doing when I was at the government. We were doing in-case enterprise and stuff like that, like very expensive tools that you couldn't afford and all that stuff, right? And so I'm really happy that there's something that enterprises can use, because again, this is stuff that you would do manually back in the day, or you would get some sysinternal stuff, and you would have to do all this stuff every time. It's like what you do manually. How do you automate that? And that's something that I see that you guys are doing as well. And again, what's funny is that it doesn't take you out of your job as a malware researcher. It doesn't take you out of your job as an incident responder. It makes you better. It's a force multiplier. Right. And that's what technology should be. Right. We're not going to replace humans.
Your goal should be to replace yourself by next year, right? Automate your job, and then you can move on to a higher level, right?
Watch out, Betcher. They're coming for y'all. They're gonna be throwing fat stacks of cash at you, and trying to get you under their umbrella. So I have a question. So I know there are other companies out there with what they consider to be attack simulations. Let's say I'm Blue Teamer. My CISO comes to me and is like, "Oh, I heard about this, Panda or this Weasel or this Nudibranch or whatever, threat actor. We need to test our environment to see if what they're doing works against us. How does a I don't know, product like y'all's or others work? Let's say does it ingest threat intel feeds? How exactly do you create I assume it's a recipe or a playbook or something like that where you can run these simulations. How does that work, and how do you set that up to simulate real attackers? I mean, I can throw a bunch of SSH shit in there, or connecting to SMB shares, but that's not really an attacker. How do you get that to work? Do you have already pre-made playbooks or recipes or something? How does that work?
Yeah, so when any attack, there's multiple things that happen in any attack. There's typically in most analysis what I would describe as behavioral analysis. And so, what behavior does these things do? It writes to the registry. It executes this. It upon reboot it does this. So there's stuff that we can document that looks like those activities. You feel me? And so and if I know that here's the state of my machine before, and like stuff like LogMD here's the state after this executed, you could easily tell that this happened. So it could be executing stuff, it could be putting stuff in the registry. Everything that the attacker does, doing it in a forgive me for saying this, but a neutered way. Right. So that's easily done. And also from a a web traffic perspective, there's going to be web traffic that is definitely bad web traffic. There's going to be stuff that PowerShell callouts to a domain for an executable. or whatever. So, so I'm talking about here. That's what attack simulation does. It helps you manually. It helps you. I mean, it helps you do that in an automated fashion. And so, just like a red teamer would study the techniques, this is like a red teamer. Some people, I don't know what the heck I do. I'm just a ghetto hacker. I just just look at what the stuff says, look at how the behavior does, and automate that.
Okay.
And then do that in a string. Like now I can do like in with a playbook or something, I can say, do this, do that, do this, just string that through. And I can do it on an enterprise scale as well. Okay. I can have multiple things doing this. And I can have them talking to each other.
I think Ghetto Hacker should be a book.
Now, to add to that,
I think that there might be a collective hacker group, but I think that might be a collective. I'm hoping to piss somebody off.
To add to what Marcus said, if there is a new attack out there or a new campaign, there is probably most likely going to be a report. Some company is going to write a report. So you need to read that report and see what techniques that attack has in it. And they are going to be in the attack matrix. So you need to make sure, and there's going to be layers. There's going to be a dropper. There's going to be a downloader. There's going to be an infector. And there's going to be some mode of persistence along with that. Make sure that you can simulate or defend against at least several pieces of that chain.
100%. Right? So here's the deal. Like, let's go over that whole, we talk about scientific method, right?
Okay.
The report comes out for sure, just like Betcher said. All right. So basically at that point, you need to do a mini threat model. A threat model is not something that I would say that's done once a year. A threat model is done every time in your head, at least, when you see a new attack. Oh, this is a new joint, right? This is what this is. All right. So if they try to do this against us, how will we fare? And so there's only so many things that people can do. In the first Tribal Hackers book, one of the first questions was, what's the biggest myth in cybersecurity? I think the biggest myth is that these attacks somehow totally dynamically change all the time. I think that there are attacks that there are new attacks that come out, right? But we quickly can diagnose those attacks, right? And then people constantly use the same thing. As Betcher just said, a dropper, it does this, it does that. So it's like literally like 10 different actions that stuff could take, and I'm talking about at a micro level, right? Mm-hmm. And if you could, that's what you have to be able to do. And there's a myth as well that, like I said, the first myth is these attacks don't dynamically change over time. They change them a little bit, but what you have is you have copycats that do the exact same thing. That's why you have all these crypto malware groups out there. They're all doing the same dang thing. Right. Yeah. Copy pasting code, and okay, cool. They use this, they did that. Okay, sweet. And then the second thing is that whole deal is you have to be good at everything. You need a security tool for every layer. Like, oh, you need to catch this, and then you need to catch the outbound. You need to do this. You need to have no, bro. You don't need to do that. So here, it's a really good book, From Good to Great. Have y'all checked that out?
Yep, I got that one.
So the book talks about, it's a business book, but it talks about it talks about how successful companies are successful. And there's this thing called the Hedgehog principle in the book. It says the hedgehog is only good at one thing. It balls up when something tries to attack it, and it's going to stick whatever it tries to attack it. And that's the only move it got. That's the only move it got. It's like me trying to play a video game. I only got one move, and it's usually a bad move. But for a hedgehog, it's very good at that one move. So I think that you have to understand what that hedgehog principle is, and you need to be really good at that, right? You don't have to be a fox. A fox has all this. Everybody's trying to be a fox, and it talks about a fox versus a hedgehog. The hedgehog is going to win every time, and it only has one move. So if you could break your organization down from a blue team perspective, what are you really good at? You don't good at everything. Focus on those hedgehog principles. You could probably see if you could actually detect if you could do one thing. So like I can detect anytime freaking PowerShell executes, and every time it executes, and if it's good or bad, or some crazy thing like that. That could be a hedgehog principle, and then you put layers upon that. So you might have 3 or 4 hedgehog principles, and that's all you're gonna be freaking good to go.
Right.
I know. So I would say some hedgehog principles to be good at. Making sure that you got your DNS good.
You guys see this?
Yeah.
This is a Swiss Army knife. It does a lot of things really crappily. Right?
Wait, what?
And that's exactly what you're describing. You know, a company can do a lot of things real crappily and nothing well, and they're not going to survive.
And so, like we say, like if y'all had hedgehog principles, I'm going to ask y'all a question. I'm going to pretend this is my podcast for 2 seconds.
Please,
go for it.
Humor me.
Okay.
I love it. All right. What I want a hedgehog principle from one of y'all as far as the blue team goes. Give me a hedgehog principle.
Segmentation.
Okay. Mr. Betcher?
I would say a focus on persistence.
Well, I'm a filthy PM, so I don't do blue team stuff anymore. I actually thought Mr. Betcher would pick logging, but I think logging of your applications and your assets and everything, because if you can't detect when bad shit's going on, you're not going to be able to defend against that. You can't, if you can't find it, then it didn't exist. So I would say logging.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for humoring me real quick. But as Betcher just said, why suck at everything? Be good at something, for goodness sake. You know what I'm saying? Do something good.
I mean, I say that daily. Man, I wish I could just be good at something. Not about the podcast, Brian.
That's my life. That's my life story. I totally feel that. I felt that.
Oh man. So we talk about doing things crappily. One of those things that we often have to deal with is the lack of information. So it's great to use an attack simulator, but if you don't have information on how to populate that, where do you get that information from? Because not every company has an ISAC that they can talk to, or have enough money to buy threat model feeds. I'm a small business. I got less than 10 people in my organization. I'm not buying an endpoint security solution because it's overkill. How would somebody is your product, is ReliaQuest or is Threatcare something that even a 10-person company would be able to use effectively?
Yeah, so I would say there are definitely free tools. A small company would I would tell you to go look up attack, read attack, the minor attack simulation, look at Atomic Red Team, look at those tools and see what they do. They do. Bigger companies need to automate because they have bigger stuff, right? So that the bigger companies should buy something that can validate their security model. That's how I say it. That's how I would say it. And here's the deal, right? If you haven't heard my story before, I'm just a country boy. I was born in my grandmother's house, outhouse, propane tank, chickens outside, cows across the street. I would say that what I do more than anybody is I ask more questions. I don't care. I don't believe there's a stupid question. Ask questions. You have Google, and you ask questions and also be willing to provide somebody with assistance as well. It's like a barter system. I know something, you know something, right? So man, and it sucks because I know some people may be introverted in our field, but the best thing you could do is be able to get out there and just share information. You don't have to share your whole life story or anything like I do. I'm crazy. But I would say at least about your job, if you want to be good at your job and good at your craft, start sharing information and start asking more questions. And also, you're an expert at something and you just don't realize it. You know more, you're a hedgehog at something that most people don't know about. So whatever your hedgehog principle is, something that if you know network segmentation inside out, can do VLANs, make VLANs do backflips, do ACLs between those VLANs and just beast mode, you should share that with people. And then they will share to you how to do persistence well. And then the next person, oh, that person knows logging. So get that collective going. You don't have to have ISAC. I mean, the truth is, man, bigger companies have problems because they have more data. Every company has the same problems, man. And no matter how big these companies are, they're all dealing with the same thing you are. Right? You don't. And so, what's awesome? It's a book right on my bookshelf here. That book is How to Measure Anything in Cybersecurity.
Yep,
Have you ever read that book?
I got that one too.
Twice.
So
that
book, it talks about how you only need a small sample to make really good decisions.
Accurate numbers too.
Yeah, that is the most important principle. It means that you don't have some big company, big data set. You don't need to holler at somebody that works at Facebook or some crazy Google or something like that. At your scale, you can make intelligent decisions as them without their data. So I would highly encourage you to work with people, no matter what size company they're at. They don't have to be some kind of ISAC or whatever. Just you have a lot of tools available. You have a lot of stuff available for free. And bigger companies need more help, of course. But there's a lot of stuff to hit the ground running with as far as attack simulation goes.
Awesome. Okay. So I hate to go back to the books, but one of the things that are you in any of the books that you yourself have collated and written?
Yeah, so I'm definitely the curator,
right?
And I'm the number one guinea pig. So I answer all the questions. I curate the questions. I do editorial stuff on it. I wrangle. I recruit people. So I do participate in the making of those books. And I have a lot of books in the pipe though. By the way, it's Tribal Hackers. We got 2 more books coming out, but I got I've learned a lot of stuff over my time, and so part of me is kind of morbid, but I want to share everything I know with the world, and I'm helping my friends share what they know and their expertise with the world. So I've learned all kind of weird stuff that I think that coming from what I call the outhouse to the penthouse. And so basically living that life, I learned a lot of stuff that I think I can help other people be somewhat successful. Some people think I'm successful, and I want to help them at least get to where I'm at.
Cool. Okay. So the Green Book, which I understand is going to be the next one to come out, talking about InfoSec leadership. I saw it on Amazon. There's links in the show notes to all of the books if you want to purchase any or all of the books. One of the questions that was in the bullet points here is, what is the most important decision you've made or action you've taken to enable a business risk? I'll ask that to you, Mr. Carey.
Yeah, so you're going to get a preview. This question,
yeah.
I know my answer for it. My question was, this is going to be a weird one, because the question, I thought when I started my company, I didn't want to drug test anybody. So drug, like it, especially, I mean, I'm in Austin, but being more open-minded to certain things, like something like drug testing, because information security professionals, they love that ganja. and they love they love a lot of other things too, probably. But I don't want to limit. I don't want to. So basically, some people in information security act like totally holier than thou, where you got to be straight line. You can't do nothing wrong. There's these ethical standards for having a certification.
Right.
Heck, you might lose your CISSP if you smoke weed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it might, and I'm gonna have a lot of people coming at me hating on this, but but yeah. So that decision was, I can hire really good people and not worry about that and let them be adults, and they can come work with me. But some people, that could be a risk. You don't want people using heavy equipment or anything like that. But you got to understand. There's like, for people say there's a shortage of information security professionals, and then they want to drug screen them, right? Military has military requirements. Military getting hacked, and the government's getting hacked out the wazoo, but they have body weight standards. So basically, people are saying that they have a shortage of talent and all that stuff, and they keep on making rules to exclude people. So that was my answer.
Okay, that's excellent. I appreciate that. That's quite good. I did notice that ReliaQuest is hiring all types of folks. Do y'all allow for remote work, or is that something where you have to be in Austin or be in Dublin or be wherever?
Yeah. So what's cool about ReliaQuest is they make sure that all their destinations are great destinations.
I wouldn't hate on Dublin. Yeah.
Tampa, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, really good locations. There is some remote work, definitely some remote work. But part of the thing is, ReliaQuest does have SOCs as well. So, and ReliaQuest has a really good training program too. And I just believe in what they're doing. I tell people all the time, and is that ReliaQuest has built the company that I wanted to build, and as we all talk about our experience working with people. So what I learned at Threatcare was, I've been going around testing, doing attack simulations on all these companies, and the consistent thing was they couldn't say anything. Many companies couldn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I had the pleasure of working with people like Betcher. And they actually helped me improve what I was doing by showing me, hey, this is the stuff we see, as he mentioned before. So, so ReliaQuest has an awesome opportunity, because what they help people do is they help people make their security model work more efficiently, and that's what I was headed to do before we got snapped up.
Nice.
But yeah, okay. So it's an awesome company. Highly recommend it. And I'm not. I mean, you know me. I speak straight facts. It's an amazing company.
Very nice. Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Betcher, Ms. Berlin, do you have anything else? Because we're at the hour mark. So.
Nope.
Okay. All right. So, Marcus, how would people find you online if they wanted to discuss ReliaQuest or, attack simulations, or, just want to learn more from a senior leader in our community?
I can't believe I'm a senior leader in the community, but I'll take that and I'll run with it.
Right on.
Yeah. So so I'm on Twitter, Marcus J Carey. And I'm pretty sure that might be in the show notes or whatever. Mm-hmm. Hey, my DMs are open. This is actually one piece of advice I want to give everybody. Amber was talking about earlier. Don't be so afraid to approach people, right? Weigh it out a little bit. And also, don't be afraid to be a little persistent when it comes to mentorship, because sometimes you don't know the workload of what's going on with people. And so I would encourage you, my DMs are always open. Hit me up on Twitter, DM me. I'm always answering questions in there. But if you come into my DMs are stacked. Be patient, be persistent, and I'll try to reach back out to you.
It's interesting. You mentioned persistence. Most hackers try to gain persistence, but we don't attempt to do it in real life. So it's very poetic.
Yeah, we don't want to bother nobody. It's very respectful for sure, and you don't want to be a jerk to somebody.
Right.
But I know that everybody in here has a million things that they're working on, and you would love to help everybody that you interface with, but sometimes the time is not right. Maybe I'm preparing for a conference, or maybe there's all kind of things that come up.
Right.
But that's kind of like, be persistent, try to be helpful, right? And share little updates. Sometimes I get updates from people. Hey, I'm working on this. Any suggestions? Yeah, and I'll type a quick note back. But yeah, there's a lot of people out here, and I would say that many people in these tribal hacker books, follow them on Twitter as well, because they're awesome people. Everybody in the books are super awesome.
Cool.
And I've been blessed to have them to be a part of my life, and they're making for some good content. So
nice.
That's it, man. I appreciate you for having me.
Sure.
I know I talk a lot.
Nope. That's why we have the talent on. We call you all the talent. So we like to have the talent on to
Definitely
get insights and discussions. That's important. So Ms. Berlin, Mr. Betcher, I'll go with Mr. Betcher because Ms. Berlin's talking to kids. So Mr. Betcher, how do people find you on Twitter and the social medias about LogMD and everything?
Yeah, just go to log-md.com. I think Michael published a Windows logging attack matrix cheat sheet.
Really?
So we talked about the attack matrix. So check that out. The Windows logging attack matrix cheat sheet is online. Just Google it.
Okay. All right.
Find more information on that. I did like what Marcus said about being don't give up, because you never know. You might catch someone at a bad time, right? There may be stuff going on in their head and in their lives that they just can't talk to you at that moment. But try another time, and I'm sure they'll be open to whatever you have to say or questions you may have to ask.
Right. And the one thing I'd like to say is it always helps to have options. So don't necessarily pin all your ideas or your suggestions on just finding that one person. There's always other folks out there. Maybe that person is busy. So, it doesn't hurt to try more than one person. You might be surprised at, you'll get one piece here and you'll get another piece from somebody else, and everything will kind of fit together at one point. So just good thoughts there. Yeah. Miss Berlin.
Yeah. One other thing. God dang it. I'm talking too much.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Yeah. On that thread, you just sparked something. I would say, always try to bring value to the situation. Always try to bring value. And if you bring value will come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yep. Miss Berlin, how would tell little people what Hackers Health's all about and how they can find you?
Yeah, so you can find us at Hackers Health on Twitter, and we're doing our best to spread the word about how everyone has mental health, not just us crazy people.
That's right.
And you can find me at InfoSister on Twitter. I will be giving a 3-hour workshop at the SE Village conference coming up here soon, and that looks to be super cool. It's in Orlando in February, so I'm very excited to get out of the cold Ohio weather. And we now have, I think, 14 different conferences that we're running villages at. I have half of them being run by our ambassadors, which I would not be able to do this without them because I can't travel that much.
Cool.
So I'm super excited to have that opportunity to have other people run it now.
That's awesome. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. And so, just to run it down here every week, we talk about Slack channel. We have a very active Slack channel. A lot of content going on there. We have people who, all over the world, every time zone is represented at some point. Lot of last weekend we had PonySec, who's just killing it with the videos and the content on server-side request forgery and XXE type vulnerabilities. He's running all kinds of videos about various web apps and stuff. He's professional bug bounty hunter, so he's got a vested interest in learning all these things, and he likes to pass on his knowledge. So if you're interested in joining our CTF club to go through some VMs or anything that you're interested in getting help with, you can join us there. Send us a DM to our Twitter on BrakeSec, BrakeSec. We have a TPub store, so if you wanted a T-shirt or some kind of official swag with the BrakeSec logo on it, you can go to tpublic.com/users/BDS podcast. And I'm on Twitter, Brian Brake, BryanBrake. Keep a lookout. We're going to be announcing tickets for InfoSec Campout 2020, where Ms. Berlin is also going to be giving her attack workshop. She will be up here by hook or by crook. So if you are interested in coming to a conference where camping is not compulsory, but it's very much expected if you do come. But we do have a 2-day conference. It'll be 2 nights of camping, and we'll have all day speaking and workshops. So you can find out more information. I think we haven't updated last year's, but if you go to infosecampout.com, I think you can find out a little bit of what we do there. We have a Patreon. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting us and supporting the what we do here. It's a lot of time and effort to get a podcast out every week and to curate a community like the BrakeSec Slack and just to spread information about InfoSec and DevOps and a little bit of project management, I hope. And we appreciate everybody's help for helping us do that. If you're interested, you can go to brakesec.com/BDS Patreon and give a little something there if you'd like. So. We thrive on attention. So if you are listening to us on iTunes or Google Play Store or Spotify or whatever, if you could leave us some reviews, that would be helpful. That way we can get more attention and get ourselves out there. I'm sure Marcus would love having thousands and thousands of people listen to him talk about his books and stuff because he's well worth a listen. He needs to be out there more often. Are you gonna be speaking anywhere in the next few months, Marcus?
Yep, I'm speaking at Blue Team Conference in the beginning of March.
Oh yeah, Blue Team.
I'll be there too.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, y'all have a lot of fun because I can't go.
Aw.
That's okay. If everything works out, I'll be in Vegas at the end of March. So I'm hoping that all works out. I'll tell y'all more about the thing in March when we get everything solidified. So it's very exciting for me. So Twitter, we're all good there. Player.fm, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio app, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, anywhere you can find us. If Pandora had us, I'd put us on Pandora, but we have a YouTube channel with a lot of videos. All of PonySec's videos were recorded and uploaded to YouTube. So you can check our show notes for all the links to all the places where you can find all of the things. So there you go. That was it, I think, for Breaking Down Security. Have a great week. Be kind to one another. Take care of yourselves because you're the only you have. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.